So let me keep my promise. If you want no spoilers at all, please go to Examining Kubrick. That is no spoilers, none. Here I will do very minor, very minor. So I'm not going to give away any of the major reveals. And I know a lot of other channels are like, I will quote forbid any revelations. If you guys want to reveal in the comments, that's your decision. But I think you not want to be spoiling it for other people because there are jaw-dropping cameos. They're epic. That's the only way to describe it. If you are a fan of quote comic book films, superhero films, just the Fox universe, 1990s culture, this is made for you. It is granted late 1990s, but I grew up with that era. It has a lot of good stuff, and they gave a lot of love letters. There is a lot of love and care in this film. And even though it is very R-rated, yes, of course, it is very extreme in a few places. I think overall I don't know what to describe it. It's fairly cute and cuddly. It does have a very weird sentimental core, despite all the and again, I warn people, very extreme jokes and very extreme action scenes. I don't mean extreme as in well choreographed. The action scenes were okay, but I'm just mean there's a lot of blood. And yes, it's CGI blood, but it is a lot. We're talking like gushing blood over and over again. There's still one scene I am stunned where Deadpool does something with a sword and he just killed that guy. And I'm like, whoa, whoa. This may be a little bit too much for MCU fans who just want it to always be this PG gunk with a CGI, and that is fine. That is you. This is not that. They definitely took it to another level, and I was mostly pleased. And yes, Ryan and Hugh are pretty funny together. They're not as good as people are saying. This is not like Oscar-worthy performances, but no, they're both very well done. I think Ryan actually made a mistake. I think he's making too much fun of himself. I understand what he's doing, but I just didn't find that part funny. I guess it's like an inside joke about his persona or being a celebrity. I don't know. Maybe Blake Lively added that to the script. I don't know, but I think that went a little bit too far. You'll see what I'm saying. So, what is the story? Well, it's pretty damn simple. Deadpool is recruited by the TVA. Oh, don't worry. If you don't know what that is, that's from Loki. And some people might not have seen Loki. Don't worry. I'll do some videos explaining Loki to give people a guide. But yes, you need to know a little bit about Loki. Otherwise, you'll be very lost because you'll be like, wait, who are these people? Why is this happening? But essentially, the TVA recruits Deadpool to save everyone. And this is, again, a minor spoiler, but he goes through not just one Wolverine, but several Wolverines. After having some success and failure, he picks a Wolverine and they team up. So it really should be called Deadpools and Wolverines. I don't know why they're hiding that. It's the multiverse. But anyway, so that's the story. So the Wolverines and the Deadpools team up to save everyone. So what is the bad? Because some people are biting back saying, they're not too impressed. Well, if you do love the cameos, and you do love the action, and you do love the comedy, and that's what this is an action comedy, I think they succeeded. Is there anything more than that? There is, I think, a nice, interesting, sentimental core, but I think people are exaggerating that too. It is not very emotive at any deep level. If you've known these characters, they've, I think, done a little bit better in the other movies. I don't think this really even carries Deadpool's story too much. This is more like Deadpool Continues. This really doesn't follow up what happened with Deadpool 1 or 2. It's sort of like, oh, he's having a bit of a, I guess, midlife crisis and needs to find inspiration, and that's about it. I think the reason that people are skeptical is, and this has just been a problem with the MCU for a long time, they don't really produce memorable villains. Now, not every story needs a villain. Not every story even needs an antagonist. But if you are going to have villains and antagonists, they should be pretty strong and memorable. And these actors are fine. I think it was believable. But Cassandra and Paradox, those are I guess, the villains here. They're kind of pathetic. I mean, it's just very one note. Cassandra wants to take over the universe. Okay, got it. And Paradox also wants to control. Anyway, it's just very, very thin. And again, good acting. I believe the scenes. I think they were not lazy, but it's just like, okay, all right. And I like to say that the other minor characters, they usually save a film. Well, on the hero side, yes. The minor characters on the hero side were very funny, very engaging. And you are going to ask a lot of questions. Well, how did that person show up? How is she here? How are they here? But that's great. You're intrigued. On the villain side, I was shocked. Yes, they do show up. Pyro shows up and Toad shows up, but they don't do very much, and they don't really align with the characters we've seen before. Yeah, pretty uniformly, the villains were all kind of pathetic, and it's really a shame because I really loved Pyro from X-Men 2. I was really hoping a lot more with him, And there's a big twist with him, but I'm like, that's it? Yeah, and again, you really do need the villains to keep the plot going, and that's probably the biggest failure here, is the story, the plot, and the villains are just, they don't really matter. They're just functional to get us to the cameos, to get us to the action, to get us to the comedy. You're not going to predict the plot. I'll say that. It's not predictable plot, but they're kind of just breezing through the movie, which is fine. They're just on vacation, but it is a working vacation. I think they did a good job, but nothing extraordinary. So the style is good, direction was good. But there were things like the music was actually great, but I don't remember the score really. So the score was kind of pathetic. It's a mixed bag, but mixed good. I am giving my own score here of 8 out of 10, but I think most people will probably, if they're being honest, saying it's a 7.5. It's a very good film, great film, not a super classic, but definitely not a bad film. A very well made film in some places, but still kind of lacking in other places.